What are erector spinae? If you struggle with some low back pain or some hip pain, this video might be for you. Before we get started, I wanted to mention one thing about how muscles are named, and that is that they are extremely literal. So don't overthink it. In most cases, the name is referring to its location within the body. For today's video, we are talking about a group of muscles called the erector spinae. So we'll start with spinae. Spinae just is a fancy Latin way to mean spine. So right off the bat, we know, okay, we are talking about a group of muscles that goes along the spine. Perfect. The second part of that is erector. An erector just means, hey, we're a group of muscles that keeps you erect. So easy there, erector spinae, muscles along the spine. There are three muscles that make up the erector spinae. They are your longissimus, iliocostalis, and spinalis. These muscles run from your PSIS, which is at like your upper crest of your hip bone or your pelvis, all the way up to the base of your skull. These muscles are responsible for back extension, so your ability to lean back like so. Rotation, the ability to move like this, back and forth. Lateral flexion, that is bending from side to side, as well as just general support and stability through everyday movements. Speaking from experience, when you injure your erectors, they'll take you down, and you truly start to understand how valuable they are in supporting your core and all of your movements. We are very contralateral creatures, which means that when one side of your body is doing one thing in one direction, the other side of your body is doing the opposite in the other direction. And this is to keep you balanced. There's always this yin and yang happening in your body, and that just means that everything is working all the time in one way or another. So when you injure something so pivotal to your stability, you lose virtually all of your functionality. The erector spinae has a big job in our bodies, so it's only natural that sometimes they get tired or overworked. It's tough holding you up all day, but ultimately, these guys could be one of the culprits for why you have some low back pain or just some general stiffness. It's also possible that they might not be keeping up if you're a heavier lifter or if you're doing more than you used to. In my experience, back strength can be a limiting factor when working larger muscle groups like the quads and hamstrings. It doesn't mean you're weak, it just means in this case, size does matter, and your back just needs a little longer to adapt, and that's totally okay. There are no rules when it comes to progress, you just have to show up. Another factor to consider with tight or tired erectors is that your glutes might not be holding up their end of the bargain. When our glutes aren't strong enough to keep up with our activities, the weight of that load has to go somewhere, and that somewhere tends to be your low back muscles. Ultimately, the muscles of the low back, glutes, and hips very much work together. And when one area is lacking, another area has to pick up the slack. Over time, if unaddressed, this is what leads to imbalances and some issues. All of that is to say, there's a good chance that if your erectors feel tired, tight, or strained, you probably need to do some glute and hip work along with strengthening your erectors. If you enjoyed this video, follow my channel for weekly updates. Click on the link in the description for exercises you can do at home to both stretch and strengthen your erectors. If you think you might need some hip and glute work, check out my channel for previously uploaded videos. Thanks for watching. Happy fitness.